For those of you that would like to follow along, open up the Project Baseline exercise file. Now, a baseline is a snapshot of your project at a particular moment in time. So you're going to want to set one when you complete the planning phase of your project. You can also set them at the end of critical phases of your project, and each baseline will contain information about the tasks and resources and assignments within their phase. Now, the information that it will track on the tasks are the duration, the start and finish dates, work, the cost of time-phased work as well. Resources, it'll look at work, time-phased work, cost and time-phased costs. And assignments will look at the start and finish dates, work, and time-phased work and costs associated with that. Now, before we set our baseline, there's one other piece of information that I want to show on the screen so that you can see the effect of setting a baseline, and that is to identify the baseline costs. I'm going to set that here in my table, and I'll put it right here, right before the start date. In order to insert that column, I right-click on the Start Date column and select Insert Column. I then get my column definition screen coming up, and it's going to prompt me for what kind of information do you want to place in this field. I pull down the drop-down list and start typing in the word baseline, which brings me to the beginning of the baseline choices. I'm going to select baseline cost as my field that I want to capture, and I'm going to put in the title baseline cost as well. The rest of the information I'm going to leave as the defaults, and I'm going to click OK. So you see now that my baseline cost column has been added to my table. I'm now ready to insert my baseline. I go up to Tools, down to Tracking, over to Set Baseline. I then determine which baseline I want to set. If you drop down the baseline menu, you will see that you can create up to 11 different baselines within Microsoft Project. So you have a lot of different ways that you can manage different baselines and do different assessments. We're just going to stick with the regular baseline at this moment in time. We can also set interim plans, and we'll be talking about that in our next movie. In this case, we're going to select the entire project because this is our original baseline. This is our starting point. So we're going to leave the default at entire project, and we're going to click OK. A baseline has been set that identifies where we are at in our planning and gives us a baseline cost, which we can use as a starting point to take this information and then come up with some project costs, add in our profit that we want to make, and then come up with a cost that we are going to give to our clients. So here's a really good way to kind of get a good idea of what it's going to cost us to begin this project. That's how easy it is to establish a baseline within Microsoft Project. Now, you don't want to make changes to these baselines. If you want to create new ones, that's why you have up to 11 different ones to choose from, but you want to keep your original baseline intact in order to track your actuals against and to give you a really good reference point when you assess how you've done at the end of the project, and it'll help you improve your estimating abilities by comparing that information at the end and prepare you to create better project plans in the future. Our next movie will talk about working with interim plans.